I think we have time for a short, hopefully, video having to do with age regression. So a little bit of a science fiction twinge to this thing. Now, I'm going to refer to some of Corey Goode's work. Corey Goode is the secret space program Whistleblower. And he's recently come out and he's stepping forward with a lot of very provocative information on a secret space program, multiple secret space programs, and how they have back-engineered craft, how they've developed their own craft that is now flying in our solar system. So human engineered craft that has been built with the assistance of an extraterrestrial race or from back-engineered captured craft. So this is a militarized faction, the secret space program. Now, what Corey, some of the stuff that Corey has said does resonate with some of the knowledge I know. And some of the knowledge I know comes directly from Stellans. So some of what Corey has said correlates to what is known among my Stellan friends. Stellan meaning non-human friends. So I think he is authentic. And I should qualify that, because it's being authentic and being 100% right are two different things. So in any profession, you do the best you can, but you do make mistakes. Making mistakes does not disqualify you, right? When a dentist, he digs the cavity a little too big, it doesn't disqualify him from being a dentist. When he fixes the wrong tooth, it doesn't disqualify him from being a dentist. He's just not a great dentist, right? So in science, that scientists get things wrong. The weatherman gets things wrong. Psychologists, they have clients that always are troubled inside, and then some clients they become better, and they say, well, so some people it works and some people it doesn't work. But when it comes to alternative knowledge and secret knowledge and alien discussions, you have to be 100% correct, and I don't agree with that. I think as long as you're authentic, you're coming from the heart, and you do make mistakes, as long as you own up to the mistakes. I've written about the wrong things, and I've had to edit my books. And I've done a lot of editing. Because as you learn new things, you become more knowledgeable. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. What you know today can change because you learn deeper knowledge later on that wasn't shared with you, or you weren't able to understand it. Okay, so I support Corey Goode. I support him. I'm not familiar with intelligence and military stuff. That's not my realm. Mine is more spiritual, multidimensional magic. It's completely different. Magic, and reality science. The artificial reality, artificial humans, artificial persons. That still hasn't been discovered yet. Nobody can figure it out. Except, and if you get a chance, watch, I just released a 3-hour documentary called American Androids in 3 parts. Now, I produced this thing several years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and I put it online. And then when I changed my focus, when I was changing my focus during that time, YouTube was going through all kinds of copyright infringements, which they didn't have before. So they started to clamp down on copyright, and my documentary is loaded with fair use clips and images. It's like that's half the discussion, because I really decided I'm going to use, we need images, we need film clips. So when YouTube was cracking down, I decided I don't want to get all these copyright disputes. That's just going to keep me, it's going to be an overload. So I pulled them, and I recently re-uploaded. Oh, I'm wet here. I re-uploaded the documentary. Hopefully it stays up if the copyrights are okay. So they don't make any money, there's no advertising, but I want people to see it. So you have the Androids Among Us, which is a 41-minute documentary, but if that doesn't convince you, you want deeper knowledge, go to the American Androids part 1, 2, and 3, and that goes right into everything. And then my book, Artificial Persons, goes even a little bit further. Okay, so the android discovery that some humans are androids it's not just a dream. It's well researched, and it's a compelling argument with a plausible theory. I'll bet science fiction. I accept that. It is what it is. Okay, so where are we? I was going to make it short, but I had to kind of cover some administrative stuff. So one thing that Corey Goode talks about when he talked to David Wilcock in his interviews on Gaia.com, he talked about the 20 and back program, the 20 and back. The 20 and back means they take a 16-year-old kid from Earth, they take him into the space program, and then the kid gets trained in the space program, and they do all kinds of stuff for the space program in secret. Now, it could be in space, could be in the atmosphere, it could be underground, it could be anywhere, right? But they're working for this secret agency. So from 16, let's say, if they're taken at 16, and they do 20 years service. So you work for 20 years. Man, that's hard. Okay? So they take you at 16. They identify candidates, right? They go to the high schools and they identify people. And they say, he makes a good candidate, she makes a good candidate. And then they abduct them. And there's some agreements involved. And they work 20 years for the space program in secret. Secret, okay? Secret, this is not public. Secret, the space program does all kinds of secret stuff. They build stations, they mine planets, they spy on society, they attack the UFO community, they develop new technologies, they talk to alien cultures, you know, all that kind of, all the stuff that you don't find on national television. So 16 to add 20 is 36. So when the boy is 36 years old, what happens? They go through this process where they're de-aged back to 16. Now, Corey might describe this differently, but I'm trying to simplify it. I'm not trying to say this is what he said. This is what I'm saying, okay? This is what I'm saying. The process is you live your life, and then you're de-aged back to 16, and then you are returned through some kind of time slip. You're returned back to age 16. But you have some of the remnants of a 36-year-old and the 20 years, right? So you might have, if they weren't altered, you might have scars, You might have a pain in your leg. You might have a back injury. My back always been bothering me. I don't know why. You may have gone through, right? Now, if you were taken at 25 and you did 20 years, you'd be 45. So you're actually 45 years old, and then they de-age you. They regress your age. They de-age you back to 25. But your body has sustained the weight of living 20 years, right? Okay, so that's basically called the 20 and back. Then this seems like a pretty regular protocol, is that they take somebody, get them to work for the space program, and then when you're de-aged, they wipe your memory. They wipe your memory, remove a few scars, add in some programs, and put you back. I don't know who I am. What do you want to be when you grow up, son? I always like space. I don't know why. I don't know why, Dad. I believe in aliens. I have no idea why. It's like I've met them before, but I'm only 16. Okay, now I want to add to that, and then we'll finish, okay? I want to add to that and say, I think that in addition to the 20 and back program, I think that's a basic program. I think there's a more advanced program, the 25 and back, the 30 and back, and maybe even the 35 and back. So that some people might do a 30 and back program. So if they take you when you're 19 and they abduct you and you live 30 years, you do 30 years of service, right? It just means you're doing more service. You're more dedicated. You're more dedicated to that agency. You give 30 years. So 19, 30 is 49. At 49, so now you're a 49-year-old person. Okay, this is important. You're actually a 49-year-old. You have the wisdom of a 49-year-old. You have the experience of a 49-year-old. You've gone through the changes and the maturity and the relationships. You've learned all kinds of incredible knowledge. So you're actually 49. That's not artificial. You're in the future now, 30 years. Now they put you in a machine and they de-age you. And as they de-age you, they adjust your memory, right? They can wash away your memory or put some blocks, implants. They put some implants in you to make sure that you don't remember, or you don't remember until a certain age. And if you have a certain scar, they might remove that scar. If you had an injury, they might fix that injury, so that by the time you've de-aged to 19, you're pretty close to where you were. You might even be better. You might be, hey, he's so mature for his age. He's old. He's an old soul. Right? Sweat. Okay. So you're 19. Now, why is this important? The 20 and back, 25 and back, 30 and back. The 25 and the 30 and back are kind of my interpretation. Maybe even a 35 and back. Why is it important? Because if you were taken in a 30 and back program at 19, and today you're close to 49, right? You're 47, 48, 49. The implants may be wearing off, and you may be going through some kind of resurrection. You might be going through some kind of middle-age crisis. You might be going through some very strange spiritual journey. And it might be due to the fact that the implants, right? The memory implants are wearing off. And that you're reaching now the age where they regressed you from. So this is kind of like your benchmark, right? You stretch an elastic band to here, and then it gets kind of marked, right? And then you let it go. Now you're stretching it back, and the body and the spirit is recognizing that you're reaching this milestone. I've been here before. What's going on? Why do I feel so strange? And you're having these memories of youth. You're feeling young again. You're feeling like a career change. You want to move. Why are you living the life you're living, right? As the implants. You're going through these changes. Now, we normally explain it as a midlife crisis, but what if it's not a midlife crisis? What if it's a 30 and back program, and the implants, the memory implants, are wearing off? Because now you're coming into your true self, right? This is who I am. I remember this. At this age, I feel so comfortable. It's like I know who I am. It's like I've been here before. It's like I've always been here. Because maybe you've been here before, right? Not in a future life. Not in a future life, because it's the same body. The body grew and then was degrown using technology, a technology that's not available in the mainstream, okay? Just because it's not available in the mainstream doesn't mean it's not available to some people. So now if you're in the 20 and back, let's say you started at 19, 20 and back, you'd be what? 39. If you're in the 30 and back, you'd be 49. Now, let's end with this. The difference, I think, it's kind of like skydiving, right? Skydiving. Some people can jump out of a plane at 5,000 feet. Some people like 10,000 feet. Some people like 15,000 feet. And some people, if you take them to 15,000, they just throw up. And they're not going to get out of the plane, right? Some people, some bodies are more tolerant. So a 20 and back, some people can do the 20 and back. It's a pretty safe program, pretty standard. Some people do the 25. You're a little bit more risque. You're a stronger spiritual being. Some people do the 30 or 35 and back, 30 and back, because you're, all right, I'm sweating. You do the 30 and back because you are, you're more adventurous. You like the thrill of stretching your mind and body. Because remember, when you go to the 30 program, you go to 49, and they bring you back to 19, you might not be able to settle back in your life. You might have psychological problems. The memory implants might not be working. You might get into drugs, depression, suicide. You don't know what's wrong.